how are you?
Welcome to the channel, and to those who are returning from my second video.
We got him now!
So, while I am working diligently on this Satana video as follow-up to my Damon Hellstrom one, link in the description, I thought I'd take a respite to make a quick video to speak about the Strategic World Observation and Response Department, otherwise known as S.W.O.R.D, and how its future, in the comics, is markedly mutant. Headquartered high above the Earth in the space station known as the Peak, S.W.O.R.D is meant to be a counterpoint to S.H.I.E.L.D., designed to monitor activity in Earth's solar system and beyond, and intervene when necessary. We've gotten a glimpse of the S.W.O.R.D that will be appearing in the MCU between the post-credit sequence of Spider-Man Far From Home and the leaked photos from the set of WandaVision, where we see the young Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel all grown up and walking out of a building emblazoned with S.W.O.R.D. While we know very little of how S.W.O.R.D will be portrayed in the MCU, I only hope that whatever we see on the silver screen will still be led by Abigail, head bitch in charge, Brand. But more on her in a bit. Al Ewing is helming this galactic voyage, who's probably most well known for writing Immortal Hulk, which I only personally love due to the introduction of the One Below All, which I will undoubtedly be covering in future videos, so flex your mutant ability to eviscerate that subscribe button, join the Hexmen, and hingle McJingle that little bell up top to get updates on new videos directly from the Hex Mansion. The writing of Ewing will be accompanied by the incredible art of Valerio Schiti. To put it simply,
I'm just gonna say it. This guy fucks. Am I right? Because I'm looking at the rest of you guys, and this is the guy in the house doing all the fucking. Am I right? You know I'm right.
his art truly has no business being as good as it is, and as such, he's by far one of my favorite comic artists, hands down. I mean, come on, look at this shit.
Yes! Yes!
Anyway, by their powers combined, they've created a new team of S.W.O.R.D, one that will be less of a superhero team and more of a team built around roles. Think closer to a Star Trek X-Men. There's an organization chart of sorts, a station to staff, and various employment trees. This team will be led by Queen Regent of the Verdant herself, Abigail Brand. Think of Nick Fury fused with Maria Hill, fused with Magneto, but with the aesthetic commitment of a Power Ranger, and you've basically got Brand. She is the half-mutant, half-alien leader of the previous team of S.W.O.R.D, so I'm jazzed to see her helming this new mutant-centric one, for which I would have absolutely no personal preference or bias. Speaking of Magneto, the master of magnetism himself will be serving as the liaison between Krakoa's ruling Quiet Council, which could really be its own video, and S.W.O.R.D itself. The series will apparently explore Brand's tumultuous history with the mutants. This is a woman who got her start from pushing an actual mutant cure to save Earth from a giant space bullet, yet simultaneously has also been 100% about that life with regard to the mutant cause. She's complicated to say the least, and now she's running the Mutant Space Agency. A massive surprise to everyone revealed to us by way of the first cover and concept art is that Takashi Matsuya, aka WizKid, will be a part of the team, a character that hasn't really been seen since the 1980s. Potentially because of how powerful he is, with his uncanny ability to transform any piece of machinery with his mind. His addition is a great opportunity for Ewing to showcase how Krakoa, the current mutant nation in the comics, handles its differently abled inhabitants. Next up is the teleporting mutant Eden Fezzi, whose human name is just as phonetically pleasing as his mutant name, Manifold. He'll be serving as S.W.O.R.D's head of logistics and will have to push his powers beyond their previous limits, in that he's now in charge of an entire team of teleporters. But Eden himself doesn't simply transport things, he can manipulate space itself. So instead of simply teleporting from one place to another, he folds space itself, like a piece of paper, and jumps through the shortcut made therein. And it looks as though we'll see him utilize that in a pretty big way. Cable, or Nathan Summers, is the next on the list, who you may remember from the Deadpool 2 film, who is technically the son of Cyclops and Jean Grey, but from the future, who in this run will look a little more age-appropriate to the mind's perception of a character who is meant to be the child of two OG X-Men. This teenage Cable is, of course, the head of S.W.O.R.D security team, a subgroup of characters put together from Ewing literally just asking Skeety who he wanted to draw the most, which honestly is a pro-gamer move for any writer-to-artist combo. Case in point, Skeety is a big fan of the mutant Random, a bounty hunter with pretty insane body morphing powers, so now Random is on the security team, so we'll get to see both him and that sick-ass bandana. The S.W.O.R.D satellite also houses some alien ambassadors like Pybok, the Power Skrull, and some human ambassadors from both Alpha Flight, the foremost Canadian super team, and Wakanda. Another ambassador and member of this team will be Joanna Cargill, aka Frenzy. Her power is insane super strength, and previously being a hardcore Magneto stan, which I myself wouldn't know anything about. She was even previously ambassador to Magneto's island nation of Genosha. As a previous ambassador, she knows her way around diplomacy, but I imagine it'll be a little awkward for her if Cyclops decides to visit the S.W.O.R.D base, which, man, they should really call Sheath, because she was once married to Cyclops in an alternate reality that another dummy powerful mutant named Legion constructed. They were an absolute power couple in that reality, and while most people had their memories telepathically edited to remove the pesky little traumas of a lifetime of disaster and total war, Joanna was among the few who refused, and as such has still not yet been able to give up her love for Scott. While diplomacy is one facet of business, the alien races also believe heavily in combat, so their meeting room is going to be something akin to a danger room, says Ewing. You can either have a conversation there, or you can have a sparring match there. The last member of this team is as dramatic as he is obnoxious. Fabian Cortez. A mutant with a historic past of absolutely sucking, yet also being a catalyst for some pretty world-changing events in the history of the X-Men. For some reason, he makes me think of Zap Brannigan as a mutant.
Now what do you want to do about that unidentified ship?
Destroy them! Let's get a nice feel to it.
But with the skill and cunning to slightly legitimize his ego. He prefers to be called Lord Cortez, of course, and calls others neophytes or flatscans, flatscans being a derogatory term for non-mutants. Cortez can augment the powers of others and will apparently be a part of the medical team because he's both a healer, since he can literally read genetic code, as well as an energy manipulator. Ewing comments that Fabian is extremely useful all over the station, but nobody trusts him because he's Fabian Cortez and he's terrible. He's on very thin ice from the start. While I personally dig his dramatic but still thematically appropriate lab coat, the new design for Fabian was originally met with a lot of negative reaction, which honestly kind of worked out for the narrative in highlighting his antagonistic presence. Essentially both in-universe and out-of-universe, everyone hates him. He's got the perfect power set for the role he's in, but everyone's like, can we please find someone else? Like, anyone else?
Follow me up to the observation deck. I've got some musing to do.
Oh, jeez.
There's apparently one more member of the team that Ewing has teased but hasn't explicitly stated, in saying that they're a telepath tasked with running negotiations and interrogations. All we have to go on is Ewing stating, knowing the way my mind works, it's going to be some mutant no one has seen since 1964, or one at the council, or anywhere in between. People can make their guesses. So more or less not much to go off. S.W.O.R.D hits the shelves December 9th of this year, which I for one eagerly await. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned a little something new, be sure to leave a like as it really helps out the channel. Wear a mask, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, clean your doorknobs, and have a excellent evening.